For thousands of years, people have looked for ways to change the world without actually touching it. Ancient rituals, spells, good luck charms, voodoo dolls. All these practices shared a main idea, that there's an unseen connection between people, things, and events. To old-timers, it was magic. To modern people, science seemed to say it wasn't real until quantum physics came along. Today, we know that at the very basic level of matter, distance might not be real, and particles can stay connected even across space and time. It's something that just doesn't make sense to us and makes us wonder, could it be that magic and science are talking about, using different words, the same reality? If you want to explore where science and consciousness meet, hit like and subscribe to Reality Shift. We're diving into a place where magic and physics seem to touch. Voodoo started in West Africa and became a complicated spiritual practice in Haiti and the Caribbean. Different from what you see in movies, it's not about curses or silly superstitions. At its core, voodoo suggests that everything in the universe is connected by an invisible web of energy. When someone who practices voodoo makes a doll, they do it to create a symbolic link with another person or situation. It's not the doll itself, but the intention sent through it that is supposed to make something happen. The basis of this idea is called sympathetic magic, like can affect like. And it's not just voodoo that shares this idea. Shamans in Siberia and South America, druids in Europe, sorcerers in Egypt, and traditions like Hinduism and Buddhism all talk about energy sent from far away, about influences that don't need physical touch. For a long time, scientists thought these ideas were just superstitions. But modern physics is starting to suggest something surprisingly similar. In the first half of the 1900s, physics changed how we understand reality forever. In the quantum world, our normal rules don't apply anymore. Two particles that interact can become entangled. This means that even if they are light years apart, they still share information instantly. What happens to one affects the other. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance because it seemed to break the speed of light and the usual cause and effect rules. Decades later, experiments with photons by physicists like Alan Aspect and Anton Zeilinger showed that entanglement is real. Particles stay connected in a way that isn't local, no matter how far apart they are. For science, this isn't magic, but information shared at a basic level, a behavior that only makes sense within quantum mechanics. But the similarity to old ideas of connection from afar is pretty unsettling. If we look at human history, we find some surprising patterns. In ancient Egypt, people believed that certain magic spells could protect or influence someone's life from far away. In traditional China, feng shui rituals and life energy, or qi, aimed to balance unseen influences that went beyond physical presence. In pre-Columbian America, shamans believed their sight and intention could change the reality of other beings and the natural world. Even though the cultural settings and symbolic explanations were different, all these traditions shared a main idea: the existence of unseen connections that can be activated by conscious intention. Today, physicists talk about non-local information and probability fields. In the old days, magicians talked about elements, energy, spirit, or consciousness. The similarity is clear. Both describe effects that happen without direct physical contact. Some researchers have suggested ideas that bridge the gap. Rupert Sheldrake, for example, suggested there are morphic fields, which are invisible structures that connect similar systems and guide how they behave. These fields, unseen but real in their effect, could be a way to connect magical action with quantum events. In this way, a ritual or a focused thought wouldn't physically act on a person, but on a shared information field that connects both ends. Even though this idea is debated and not everyone agrees with it, it fits with the idea that reality is made of interconnected patterns, much more subtle than any normal mechanical interaction. If we take these ideas a step further, we can ask, what if reality itself is a simulation? In that case, quantum entanglement could simply be how the code behind the simulation shows up. Two particles are actually just variables in the same system. In the same way, conscious intention, prayer, or a ritual could act like commands within the program, changing probabilities or states in a non-local way. Magic, then, would be an ancient way of interacting with reality. Quantum entanglement would be its mathematical and scientific version. Both views could be describing the same unseen fabric, just with different languages. One, symbolic, the other, mathematical. Perhaps, distance and separation are just illusions. Maybe everything is connected by invisible threads, reachable through both rituals and quantum equations. What magic calls energy, science calls information. What old-timers saw as a spell, physicists observe as non-local correlation. And if reality is a simulated system, ancient magicians might have been exploring the simulation's code without even knowing it. The final question is unavoidable. Are magic and science opposite paths, or two ways of looking at the same deep truth? And you, do you think magic and physics are connected, or are they just surprising coincidences? Do you think what's considered magic today could be considered science in the future? If you enjoyed this journey to the edges of knowledge, subscribe to the Reality Shift channel and share this video.